So in the last
Hi,
session,
sir.
we have completed supernetting summarization, and today we'll discuss about that. What we'll discuss about the router functionality. Okay, router and the switches functionality. Then we'll also go with the boot process. Okay, so in this session only. So let's begin. And what is the router? So I believe that you saw the routers, right? Router and switches. You're familiar with the router and switches, right? Because you were working there.
Yes.
Physically, I didn't see, sir, but packet trace only I saw that.
No. Physically, have you watched the router or not?
No, I didn't.
I'll show you today. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's begin. That what is the router and how what is the use of router and what are the functionality that is doing by the router. So router introduction. Router is an internet-working device. Internet-working means there is like suppose router 1. Just admit whoever trying to join. Okay. Router 2. Router 1 and router 2. Let's suppose there is some network 192.168.10.0/24 network. Here we are having a different network like 10.0.0.0/8 network. Here we are having a 1.1.1.1 and 1.1.1.2. So let's suppose this is a different network and this is a different network, right? So I just wanted to establish the communication between two different network from 192 to 10. Okay. So as we know, it's like that in the different networks, if in the different network or different classes cannot ping or cannot communicate to each other, right? So for that we are using a router. So router is having the capability to establish the communication between two different network. Okay, so that is called internetworking, means two different networks communication. Okay, establishing the communication between the two different networks. So that is called internetworking, which is doing by the router. Okay, router is a L3 device, and the L3 switches also are there. That is also used for internetworking. Okay, it enable communication between two or more different logical networks. The same thing. It is network layer 3 devices. This comes under the L3. We already learned about that OSI model, right? So it comes under
Yes, sir.
the layer 3. Okay, it comes from the naming of this router is come from the root. Okay, hence it is also a device that find the best route path for the network. The router is just not doing the internet working communication. Moreover, router is doing a best path selection. Let's suppose you are having R1, here R2, here R3, okay, here R4. So here these are the connectivity. Okay, so like this, and how to do R5 I'm doing here. Okay, so like this the way of communication. Okay, so like this there is connectivity. So router is having a to reach from, let's suppose this is a source router. Okay, and this is the destination router. So router is having a capability. A router is having a multiple path to reach the destination. So router, whether the path 1 or path 2. So which is the best one? By using some algorithm, router is having a capability to find the best path. Okay, to reach the destination. Okay, so that is the one more functionality that router doing. And the IP router is the default gateway for all the devices in the LAN. Whatever the IP we are providing in this interface, let's suppose this is a router and this is an interface 192.168.1.1. These are our LAN network. So for all the users which are sitting beside to that connected to the switch, for all of the users PC, the gateway will be 192.168.1.1. Without gateway, they cannot go to the internet. Okay, gateway must be available. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this interface will be will known as the gateway for all of them. Like you are having one lock and you are having one key to go in or out, right? So like that, this will work like a key for the inside user to go outside. Okay. Now types of router. There is a many types of routers. So types of router, if you talk about that, there are two types of router: hardware router and the software router. In the hardware, like Cisco, Juniper, Multicom, HP, D-Link, and many more brands are there. Okay. And the software router is working with the Microsoft server, Linux, and Linux servers. So these are the most known vendors for the routers manufacturer, and these are the software routers that is doing by the Microsoft server or Linux. This is nothing but we are having one servers where we install Linux or Microsoft, like Microsoft server operating system, where we are simply putting some iOS of router, and we this server will behave like a router. So the all the router functionality will do by the servers only. So generally you cannot get 99% location, you cannot find this. Only by minimum location only you'll get it, like by luck, by chance only you'll get. So forget about this. So just focus on this Cisco, Juniper, Multicom, HP, and D-Link, and many more other vendors are there in the market. Okay. Types of router: fixed router and the modular router. Fixed router, let's suppose you are having one router and there is a multiple interface, NIC cards are connected there. Lane 1, lane 2, like no lane 3, multiple cards are there with the serial port and console port. Many more things are there. Once any card is damaged, okay, or not working properly, you cannot replace this card. Okay. But if you're using a modular router, you can replace the faulty NIC card or a serial card or anything. Okay. So fixed means fixed. Once you purchase, once anything is not working, then you need to replace the device completely device. If modular router is there, then you need to just replace the faulty parts only. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now router functionality again. Inter-network communication that we already discussed in the first slide. Best path selection. Okay. Best path selection. Best path selection means so there is an again we are connected with the router, and routers are connected with the different routers. Okay. So let's suppose this user wanted to reach somewhere. Okay. And these are the way of connectivity like this. I'm just keeping like this. So this user wanted to reach there. So the router will select whether this path is a better or this path is a better to reach there by using some algorithm that will cover in upcoming session while doing the routing. Okay. So packet switching. Packet switching means the router is having a two interface, like multiple interface. Let's suppose these are the LAN side and these are the WAN side. Okay. WAN side. So packet switching means packet is users are connected here. Users are just created a packet, like let's suppose google.com. So packet will be like source, let's suppose Google IP. Okay. Source, let's suppose this piece, these are our 10.1 series. Okay. So source IP will be a 10.0.0.2. Destination IP, you don't know about the destination IP in the, you are going to the out facebook.com, you don't know the IP of facebook.com, right? So it will be like question mark and source make, destination make, source source net, source mark, source, sorry, source IP, destination IP, source make address, destination make address, and port, source port, and the destination port. So by use these are like, these are the source IP and destination IP is a layer 3 address. Source MAC address and destination MAC address is the L2 address, and the source port is a L4 address. Okay. So by using this all three address, they are created one packet. It is sending to the router. Router is receiving by this interface. So this interface will call as a ingress because packet is reaching by this port, right? And the packet is going by this interface, going out by this interface. So this interface will call it a egress. Okay. So this is called as ingress and egress. So packet switching. So this is the only packet switching receiving from one interface and sending to another interface. Okay. Packet forwarding also similar to the same. And packet filtering. Packet filtering means which is allowed, which is not allowed. That we will cover in the ACL, access control list. That time you can understand about the packet filtering. Because in normal without ACL, it will allow to all, and it will allow to go out and in. Okay.
Okay,
But
sir.
when you are using ACL, you will have a right to filter your traffic based on the multiple ways. Okay.
Okay.
After that, are types of routers. So branch routers, there is some, you cannot, any vendor cannot, manufactured in the one single model. Okay, they are created multiple models, like, for the access layer, for like for small kind of company, they can, based on their, requirement also, they are preparing, they are manufacturing the routers. Higher end routers for, higher organization, higher level, higher, users, where their users are available, that they are, at that time they are using that. Okay, then after that, ISP level of routers are there. So starting router is 800 series, 1900, 1600, 28, 2900 series routers are our branch. Okay, for small organizations. Okay, so this kind of router you'll get to see. Okay,
Okay.
these are the series 800, 19, 26, 28, and 2900 series routers are there. Okay,
Okay,
clear?
sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. So after that, we are having a router that are used at large organization campus and and head offices. Okay, router series for the large organization. For the large organization, there is a 1000 series, 5000 series, and the 5500 series are available for that, higher organization. Okay, large organization. Okay,
Okay.
and there is a 6000 series, 9000 series, and 7200 series are available for the ISP. Look, these are this kind of routers you'll get to see. There is a multiple, cooling fans are there, and multiple, power cords are there, because this, it should be run by, 24 into 7 they should be run, right? So
Yes.
according to their requirement, they, like Tata or Airtel, they cannot run with the 5000 series or below series, right? They always need, chasing series of devices, where their device have must capability hardware, and hardware functionality should be like, highest level, like 24 by 7 they should run. Okay,
Okay, sir.
if anything is faulty by mistake, by chance anything is faulty, then it should work with other things, right? So there is a multiple ways and multiple different, a series manufactured by every vendors. Okay,
Yes. Primary,
so,
secondary things.
yeah, like we can say access layer and distribution layer and core layer.
Okay, sir.
Access layer is for the small organization, distribution is for mid range, and the core is for higher range. Okay. Then after
Okay,
that,
sir.
what are the external components of routers? So external components, like nothing, that is just a ports. Okay. So RJ45 ports are there, and flash memories are there. But this is a very old picture. But nowadays, if you get only LAN cards and the console cards, okay, LAN and console is enough. Clear?
Okay, sir.
And serial cards are also there. Three cards are there. Then the power on off, and okay, these are the common things that you can find in the internet, or when you get a chance to see the router, you can find these things. Okay. After that, these are the, again, the ports. The serial ports. Serial ports is earlier used. Nowadays, we are not using serial ports. Serial ports we are using generally when we two routers are, installed in the same way, and we want to connect by using a serial cable. Okay. Serial cable is using for that only.
Okay,
There
sir.
is a after that, console ports. To take a router console, to configure that, we are having a console cable. Auxiliary port, nowadays no use. Power on off switch, power cord, and the fast Ethernet ports are available. So these are the ports are available in the routers. By SIM, if there is by hardware, based on their hardware, infra, it will look like it is a very small device, but the functionality is very high. Okay, so don't underestimate the power of the routers. Okay. So LAN interface. So LAN interface will be like, router have RJ45 ports to connect the router to the LAN. Okay, let's suppose there is a router and there is one LAN port which is connected to the switch, and after switch the users are there connected. Okay, like that. So these are the ports, like fast Ethernet and FE or gigabit. Based on you already we covered that, types of interface, and right? Like for Ethernet, 10 Gbps, 100 Gbps, 10, no, many gigabits, or here also it is already mentioned 10 Mbps Ethernet, 10 100 Mbps called the fast Ethernet. 10, 100 or 1000 Mbps gigabit Ethernet are available nowadays. Okay. So these are the interface. If you talk about the internal component, so there is a kind of, these are the RAMs that is available into the inside of the routers. That is called ROM flash. There is total 4 memories are there in the routers. Okay, so I will cover all this point one by one. So ROM, read-only memory, it contains a bootstrap program which search and load the operating system. It is similar to the BIOS of a PC. It also contains Roman mode for advanced troubleshooting. Let's suppose you are having a desktop or laptop. Okay, this is your laptop. Let's suppose this is your laptop. You're just turning on the, by pressing the button. You're just turning on, right? So it is not directly instantly. It is not turning on. First, whenever you're pressing this power button, it is active the ROM, and it is just checking. This is also called POST, power on self test. Before powering on self test, let's suppose you are sleeping and suddenly you are wake up in the morning or afternoon anytime. So you are not that much of active, right? First you'll try to you will understand the things like it is night or afternoon, at what time is there, like everything should not come directly, right?
Yes.
Slowly our system is work like human body, right? The same thing, whenever we are turning on the fire, switch or router or anything, it is checking, it is doing the self test, power on self test. By what is the power on self test? By it is checking their hardware components, their external component like USB or USB keyboard, mouse, everything they are checking. Monitors they are checking. Okay, everything they are checking, and once they found everything better, then only they are going to be turning on, right? So that is called a power on self test. So ROM is contain a bootstrap, like bootstrap is nothing but it's a kind of mini iOS, we can say mini iOS. Okay, so where operating system only is what is the hardware and what is the, there is a hardware, router is a hardware, and that iOS is a software. Like this is a dead body, this is the soul of this dead body, right? When you are entering onto this soul is entering to this body, this router will be work like a normal way. Okay, otherwise hardware is a hardware, software is a software. The combination of both is by the combination of both they are working together. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
The network operating system iOS is stored here in the flash memory iOS. Here in the ROM mini iOS, and the main iOS is available into the flash memory. Why mini iOS is there? Let's suppose by any chance this iOS is not available or corrupted, so it will start by the mini iOS and it will give us to do the troubleshooting. Okay,
Okay.
got it?
Yes,
And
sir.
after that, NVRAM is there. That is called non-volatile random access memory. NVRAM is similar to a hard disk. It is also known as the permanent storage. The startup configuration is stored here. So whatever you are doing, let's suppose IP address, IP assigning is some, you are assigning IP into this any interface, and you are saving this the configuration. Okay, this is saving into the NVRAM. Whatever the configuration you are doing by the write, okay, write command, it is going to save into the NVRAM. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So it is used is like a hard drive of the PC. And the RAM is a random access memory. Let's suppose whatever we are you are able to see in my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
These all the running things are on that RAM. Okay, on RAM only. Okay, it is also called the main memory. It is temporary storage. The running configuration is stored here because whatever I have opened in as of now in my PC, all is running under the RAM only. It is not available into the this NVRAM. Okay, like that.
Okay.
These are the main memories, 4 memories, and we no need to think about this because power supply, flash memory, sim, no need to go about internal component of router. So how the internal component of router and the boot process of the router. You are turning on the router. Okay, power on, it will do the power on self test, check the hardwares, it will check their hardwares. Okay, ROM load bootstrap program and search for the iOS. After that, it is sending, once they find better, all hardware is fine, it will send request to ROM will check, ROM loads bootstrap program and search for the iOS. It will, bootstrap program means mini iOS. It will load into that RAM, the mini iOS, and later it will go for the flash to check the iOS, the correct one. Okay, the operating system of the firewall. Firewall means router, switch, or PC. Okay, like we are having a Windows operating system in our Windows 7, Windows 10, Linux. So whenever you're turning on the PC, it is checking the hardware components that all are function all are functionally properly or not. After that only it is if anything goes wrong, then we are getting errors, right? That iOS is missing or bootstrap is missing, like that we are getting the issues, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the way. In the same way, we this router and switches are also working. The process of booting are the same. Post, then ROM, then flash, then after that NVRAM, then RAM. Okay. So before going to before booting the flash, once let's suppose once that this ROM is found that iOS. Okay. So it directly it is not booting. iOS will come to the NVRAM whether any by default configuration saved configuration is available or not. Okay. It will if it is found some configuration files are there, then it will upload together with the iOS. Okay. If it is not found, then it will simply normally a fresh kind of device it will run. It will open with the whatever is again it will come to the RAM. By here we are able to will be able to see the all the their consoles like command prompt or GUI everything. Okay. So that's it about this, and you need to revise about this, and you guys have to be revise this and understand the functionality of the routers. Okay. So by tomorrow onwards we'll do that config starting the practice.